All right, today we're gonna tear the engine down, see what we need, see what parts we need, get the cylinder sent off, and get it all tore down so we can get the cases vapor honed and everything. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna put new bolts in the whole thing, but I'll just save these bolts anyway. She's greased up. She's sooted up real bad. That one ain't too bad. Power valve needs a good cleaning. Bolt wasn't even tight. Or rad valve or something aftermarket. It's the cage. Oh, those are all. What am I looking at here? Oh, they're still in here. It's all stock. I kept trying to find the reeds and I couldn't find them. I've never seen a reed come apart like this. I have to admit, I haven't worked on Kawasaki's much, but I don't think so. Like, how would it be? Oh, I see. That power valve works that way. Totally different. All right, we're ready to take the cylinder off now. Ha, look at there.
Oh, does that whole piece pop out?
Yeah, it's like, that's what I thought should happen. There you go.
Gotcha.
Kawasaki, you're pulling some on me. It's got some bars in there. I've never seen that. That's just all one big hole on that RM.
There we go.
You know what? It's not, the piston isn't really. I mean, it's all melted off on the top, but it's scoring. And the cylinder, it's scored a little, but not just terrible. I want to get it redone, but. The crank is had. I thought the crank was good. The crank is had. Not, we weren't going to use it anyway, but that's what's actually locked up.
Oh, it done.
Because
it got so hot.
No,
swelled.
straight gas. Like, I guess the.
Oh, they don't have that goes to the crankcase. Right.
Your bottom end is lubed by your gas on these.
Gotcha.
It got it.
That is still locked up. Runs like new. Just needs a spark plug.
There you go. All right, we're gonna see what in the world we got going on here with the clutch. Tell you what now, that basket ain't hardly grooved at all. I don't think it even has any grooves. We'll have to take it apart and look, but that looks brand new. This bike continues to amaze me. It's not a ridiculously houred bike, which is great for our cause here. And the water pump. Alright. Alright, should do this kind of careful because of our power valve and our water pump stuff. Look at there, that's OEM gasket.
There's a little wear in the basket you can see now.
Right here?
It's not really a wear, it's just kind of you can tell it. You can feel it a little bit.
Like normally, like on a lot of, there'll be like deep grooves
and stuff in it.
So when I take these apart, I always like rub my fingers over everything here to make sure there's no washer. Even though when we put it back together, we'll see like there's a little pin right there, but I don't think it's gonna come out. Feels like it's pressed pretty tight. See like that, what was that? See, that's the kind of stuff I want to avoid at all costs. Something fell that I didn't see. I don't know. That's the kind of stuff I try to avoid, but when it just makes it a little quicker going back together because I can remember that, and now I have to kind of make sure that look at a breakdown or have somebody help me look at a breakdown.
What you were saying about only finding bling kits in blue.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that means that's why the oil plug is blue.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool though, it's OE gasket. I mean, that tells us we haven't been apart much. I don't know if the bottom end's ever been apart on this thing.
So I don't know if we got it on video, but when we took this thing apart, the crank won't spin. We thought the piston was stuck in the cylinder, but when the cylinder's off, it still won't turn over. The crank's like it's locked up.
Yeah, it's the rod bearings had in it. Runs like new, it says. All right, so now I got to switch from an 8. So go down here and get my 8 back, 9, 10. Very tight. Is that a different ball?
No, you got them all.
Oh. I'm sure I didn't. Did I take that one loose or was it missing? 1,
I didn't notice any missing.
3. I only have 4 here.
There's 5 in the spots. There you go. Does it have a washer on it?
Yeah.
Right here.
They look like this. They got a kind of a special washer.
Here's the other one.
Right.
That's why you don't want to drop stuff.
That's right. It's really important for me to not, be pulling something apart and hear it clank at the bottom because
Yeah. Hard to tell what it was.
hard to tell what it was.
Wonder if they put a new clutch in it. That's why some of it's been worked on. Because that clutch don't really look wore out.
Don't look or at all. Even like this, the wear is nowhere here. Like very little. Sometimes it gets grooved and there'll be a ring on the outside here. This is almost nothing. It all looks really good. Yeah, I had plans of putting a billet basket in anyway, so not too butthurt about that. All right, this will tell the story some too. There's a bend over tab here somewhere. Should be right there. Feels like maybe. Is there a bent over tab right there?
I don't see one.
Well, maybe it's another Kawasaki thing. No, this nut's been off of here before.
Yeah,
you can
it's
see it's
boogering up
rounded.
on the corners.
Yeah. And there's no bend over tab on it.
Maybe that's why the basket's not grooved.
There should be. It's actually grooved quite a bit. That actually is quite a bit. That should be perfectly smooth.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I see that.
There should be like on all the other brands, there's a tab that goes under this nut that locks in and then it bends over to keep this from ever coming loose. So somebody had this apart and didn't put that back. I'm sure Kawasaki had one.
So is this just a 2-stroke thing, or why does this piston have such long skirts on it?
It's partly a 2-stroke thing because you come around and look on here. Here's your port that's where your fuel and air. Like this is your port where that comes through into your.
So that's basically the intake port.
Basically, yeah.
Crazy.
It is a torque setting, but.
So this is actually like the flywheel.
What's the center? No, this is actually like the flywheel.
So
actually, the flywheel's on the other side. But
gotcha.
Oh yeah, like you're
like
you're
in
talking automotive
in a vehicle, this will be
like
the same as a flex plate.
Kind of, but it's grooved, so it's totally different setup. It's like
Gotcha.
This would be like a dual clutch would have more.
Oh, okay.
There and behind there. Although I'm second guessing myself a little bit with this Kawasaki because there's been a few differences. Interesting. I find it so interesting. They all have all these Allen in here.
Is that actually an Allen?
Well, what is it?
It's a C-clip. There's
Really?
a clip, yeah. See?
On a crank gear?
Yeah.
Unbelievable Kawasaki.
They're building them like transfer cases over here.
Interesting. I really like putting stuff in bags because then you know it's there. And when you got little bitty pieces, once you feel it go through the top, you know she's in there, and that gives me great joy for some reason. My biggest fear is losing parts. So get my bag ready. The other thing about these bags, they keep your stuff clean. I'm gonna push this shift shaft out of here. You put that in that bag and it never touches any kind of a dirty surface or anything, and it stays kind of oily in there, and they stay nice and clean in there.
Why is this oil there like it's... You see the oil there?
Where?
Oh, it's dripping in the pan.
Yeah?
That is a little rough looking.
Yeah, well, you can look at here. Put your camera down
Yeah.
here. Look at this stuff.
Oh, it's just
Sludge.
shavings for days
And
in
sludge. But we're getting all new transmission bearings, all new main bearing, all new everything. And see, this oil never touches your rotating assembly. as far as your crank or anything, sealed from that.
Gotcha.
It's only the transmission.
So this is
and clutch.
gear oil for the most part.
Yeah, so only for the transmission and clutch. All right, so this is a little bit unique from the standpoint. This is nutted, looks to me like.
Look at your hands, by the way. Just appreciate all the shavings on that.
That is crazy because I was digging in that right there.
Yeah, there's so much metal shavings in that engine.
So right here, this little roller, it's spring loaded against those notches, and in a 5-speed transmission, there's 5 notches, and the neutral has got a little little notch in there, and that's what actually makes the click, click, click. If it wasn't for that, your shifter would just go all directions, and you'd really never know where you're.
And that's what makes neutral feel different than a regular gear.
Right.
It looks like it was filled with graphite grease.
And it's possible. Like, people are doing some crazy things. I bought a 4-stroke one time.
It definitely got metal in it. It had that. Did somebody done that to it?
No. I bought a 4-stroke one time though that on the top end, like on the cams and of where your buckets and shims and everything are, it must have been making some noise. And they packed it full of like sticky red grease.
Just tractor grease.
Just straight up tractor grease, like it was packed clear full.
I reckon at least it'll muffle it.
It was not. It was destroyed. It had been destroyed, and then it was even doubly destroyed. Look at that. I hope I can find a new. Look at that.
Well, that's still clipped and everything and just wallered out.
Like it's gone.
So the back side of this gear has been hitting back there.
Battery noises.
And that's why all the
Look at the level.
sparkles.
It's interesting. I've never seen that. All right, so blind guy doing a snap ring. You find the groove like that. And you stick your. Now this is sketch city right here because there's no seeing it at all. You just keep trying. This is my life right here in a nutshell. You find out where it is and you gap them things about where you think it's supposed to be and you just never stop. And every now and then, all of a sudden, you're like, I think I caught it. And then
One eternity later.
being kind of facetious. Come to daddy, you dumb thing.
That's the face of a winner right there.
This gear's gone.
The shaft don't look too bad.
I think the gear is done though. This is quite interesting to me because I've done KTMs and Suzukis, and I don't know. I guess that's kind of when it comes to Yamaha 4-strokes. I have never seen. I've done Suzuki 4-strokes. I've never seen transmission bearings pressed from this side. Never, not one time in my life.
They just always pressed from the other side of the case.
Yeah, they're all internal. And the other thing I've never seen is a main crank gear with a clip. They're always bolted. These are Loctited, so.
Oh, they come out kind of hard.
Yeah.
So what is this big spring?
All right, so this is your Kickstarter return.
Okay.
Like when you kick it down and it back.
Gotcha.
That's the Kickstarter return. So now we got to take that spring loose, like that. This just wiggles out of here. Some of them have a hold, and some of them don't. This one don't. And I'll have a little washer right. Well, usually has a washer right there, but this one don't seem to. So. And this piece here is where it conked back to. So it's not against.
That's the stop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't break the case.
Right. These are what I was gonna take out next. Is there a washer here? So I always have to dig to make sure there's no washer. Just the end of this is the detent areas right here, you see? Now, let's see if yeah, right there, that's neutral, see that?
Oh, so it's got a little piece.
See how these are all nothing on top of them? So it just bumps over into that gear. This one goes, finds your neutral.
Gotcha.
That's your halfway.
So that's why neutral is harder to find than
But
a
it's
gear.
also why it has a little bit of a spot.
Yeah.
Because it has, otherwise, all these others, they roll straight over that. You can't get between second and third because it just rolls off of that. You know,
Makes
either
sense.
Way.
Oh. Oh no.
What is it?
Broken piece. It came out of the bottom of the case. That looks like a piece of clutch basket.
It does look like a piece of clutch basket.
Maybe that somebody put a new basket in it?
You know what? I bet you that's why it was locked up.
Did it turn over now?
No.
She's still locked up. So this
It is
clutch,
definitely a piece of clutch basket. That's good news.
this pizza clutch basket has no issues. Nothing broke, nothing missing.
That's got to be clutch grooves though, right there.
Definitely.
What about here? What about on the hub?
I looked that stuff over. I didn't see anything broke. And it would have been laying. It would have been laying in this, all this this nastiness down here on the bottom of this engine.
Definitely.
Just hidden
It's
there.
definitely clutch because nothing else makes grooves like that. I don't think. Now this is really nice, little shiny looking stuff. I hope I have a
puller that fits that.
puller that fits that.
That's all painted and never been taken off there.
And I just don't know. That is a unique looking thing. She happens to be the right thing. Unbelievable. I got to pull this plate out of here, so it looks to me like they're Phillips head screws, which again is stupidity, but we'll just never been touched. I don't think them screws have ever had a screwdriver on them. Type situation. Dadgum, looking through this stinking drawer again. All right, now this time we do have hammers.
What a unit.
Stator and a stator plate. Those screws are slotted.
Okay.
So if you loosen those screws up, you can adjust timing a little bit.
What do you think of Braille tool set?
A Braille tool set? Hey, I had an idea. I know it's kind of a crazy idea, but I actually had an idea to do a graphics set and use, from the number place, use Braille numbers.
That's not crazy at all. That's cool.
Like dots, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool. Let us know in the comments what you think of that. Should we do blindside with Braille numbers? Here, but what are these reeds made out of?
Well, then I don't know what these are made of. The
Look like
aftermarket ones are
Kevlar or something.
aftermarket ones are carbon fiber.
Maybe that's what that is.
And I think these are too. These look like carbon to me. They're just plastic in the stock ones.
They definitely have a weave in them.
They're not chipped. Like a lot of times they'll chip at the edge here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can look through them if you can see light through them. Yeah, they're pretty good. These are actually pretty good, but we're gonna put new ones on them. So. All right, I think we're almost ready to put the case splitter on and split the case. Now, if this thing has never been split, which kind of appears in a way, it could be a challenge. That's why we have the case splitter. But like, don't even try to split these cases without a case splitter, because you'll just end up messing it up. That's all there's to it. You can forget beating on with a hammer until you get it. You'll have your gasket surfaces so chipped up, and I've seen people stick screwdrivers in and your gasket surface, you ain't never not leaking after that. Now, if you were saving the crank, you would probably want to be real careful on the end of the crank with this, but at this point, you're not saving the crank.
You can see it's binding up on the bottom. It's pulling harder on the top than it is on the bottom.
What happens? There's dowels, and they're steel. And
Oh, they get galled in a little
galled
bit.
into the aluminum a little bit. Man, it feels like a bolt goes somewhere. I don't see one. Ah, there's a bolt right there.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
He was hiding right there, boy.
That's what I'm afraid of. I've seen that happen before.
Oh, boy.
So even a blind guy gets an acorn once in a while. It's like that, boys and girls. Tools just make all the difference in the world when you for specialty stuff, you know. I mean, you could have beat on this thing for days. You can get them if you just slap don't have it. But I've gotten them apart before. But man, it just saves so much heartache.
Look at that. There's a bunch of junk in this side of the case.
See, this is what's sealed off from the. This is the side we've been seeing junk on, right? So this is where the crank and the main bearing
Gotcha.
is.
So
And it's all sealed.
that's why there's trash here too. That crank has seen better days though.
So you've got these pins.
Those are actually the forks that move one gear from one gear to the other.
Right. So we'll just take this out. Because I got it loose on the other side. It should just come out. There we go.
That's what runs the forks.
Mm-hmm.
Moves them in the
Oh,
transmission.
boy.
What's that?
That's all right. I thought for a minute it was boogered. We'll have to clean that real good to see. And that goes in that bag. And we'll get this pin out, and this side only has one. Some of these, like most of these have a spring in them. These don't have any springs. They look fine though, not bent. All looks good. All right, now you just take these two. I like to leave these all together. Now we'll have to go over that pretty thoroughly and check all the dogs and all these. They all look really good just right here, but with what's went through that thing, we'll need to check those really close. All right, well, we got her all apart. She's all laying out here. A bunch of these parts are cooked. This is all junk, totally destroyed. There's some wear cleared almost through this somewhere. Cylinder's gonna have to be sent off. All the bearings gotta come out so we can get our new bearings in. I don't see it here right now, but we had a piece of a clutch basket or something actually laying in the bottom of the motor, and there's nothing broke off the clutch basket. So obviously it was from previous or something. So a lot of bad things going on in this motor, but we're gonna send it all up. We're gonna get the cases vapor honed. We're gonna send the cylinder off. We're gonna get all new bearings, all new crank, all new everything, and fix it all up and throw it in the bike and give it to you guys. So it's gonna be some kind of cool. So check it out, builtblind.com. Get entered and comment, like. Getting people to subscribe to the YouTube channel helps us a lot, so thanks a lot.